Last week in the mountains of North Carolina, Juha Salminen faced a stiff challenge early from Suzuki's Glenn Carney and Rodney Smith. But late in the game, Juha pulled away as the Suzuki rider struggled and yielded to the young Charlie Mullins. Can Juha's streak stay alive? We'll find out.
Welcome to Racer TV. We're here at round number 4 of the Grand National Cross Country Series in Union, South Carolina. Join with me is Rodney Smith, 5-time GNCC champion. Rodney, second stop in the Carolinas. How is this week going to be different than last week?
Well, it's typically a little bit faster than what we saw last week. The Carolinas both still have a lot of woods. The trees are real tight here. We've got a lot of roots and rocks, but this track's typically a little bit faster than what we see in North Carolina, and it doesn't quite have the hills and stuff that we saw too. So it's going to be a good race. I think in general the racing is going to be tight.
We know Juha's been winning the last 3 races of this season, but last year at this race, Barry Hawk won. So how do you think we're going to see it going in today? How's he going to handle this?
Well, definitely. Juha made a mistake last year. He was leading the race, and I think down by the swamp section, he clipped a tree and crashed, and Barry took over control and won the race, which was a great job. But I think Juha in the back of his mind still wants to win here. I know when I was coming through, I wanted to try to win at every racetrack I could to know that I was strong at every different venue. So I think in the back of Juha's mind, he's going to be a little extra strong here, but he's been strong all year, so it's going to be interesting.
This has always been a fun track. There's a lot of fun obstacles out there. Tell me about some of them.
Well, we got the legendary creek jump that we see every year, and that's always interesting because you never get to practice that before you get to it. So it's kind of like hit and miss. We try to go down there and see it in the morning before the race starts, but we don't get to practice on it. So that's always interesting. We got the swamp section that usually brings in a lot of mud and a lot of different ways to get through there, which is where Juha made a mistake last year.
Yep, well, it looks like it's going to be a fun day of racing, so let's go down the start and let's go racing.
Well, thanks a lot, Rachel and Rodney. Jason Wygant down here at the starting line for the Pirelli Big Buck GNCC. A lot going on here. It's the chase for Juha, but of course, the riders can't think too much about the competition. They've got to worry about themselves and the racetrack that's been laid out in front of them today. It's a little bit longer than the traditional GNCC track, over 13 miles. That's a lot of trail to memorize early in this race. Of course, Juha is a specialist at going fast on terrain that he hasn't seen yet. We'll see how these guys hold up. To give you an idea what they have in store, we're going to check out our Scott USA helmet cam. And here it is. This is what it looks like to charge into the first turn at a GNCC facefuls of roost. As we get into the woods, though, there's obstacles, speed bumps in the form of logs and rocks and roots. It's going to get very slippery back here as well, so it's hard to focus on the terrain and those riders in front of you. The fans, well, they love focusing on this, the mud holes that are a big, big factor on this Pirelli Big Buck GNCC course. Once we get to the finish line, well, you're just getting started. We got several laps out here today. Take a look at our point standings before we go racing. Juha Salminen, 3 wins. You get 30 points apiece, so he's got 90 points on top of the list on the factory KTM. Loose racing point standings continue. Glenn Carney is now second in the series on the factory FMF Suzuki. A great season so far early for him. And Mike Lafferty showing major skills down the stretch. He is tied right now with Carney for second in the series. Those are 3 of the guys to watch. Now, Charlie Mullins has been a revelation this year, a rookie in the pro class. Had he not have DNF'd our second round in Georgia, he would be second in the series right now. Here we go, pro class is underway. Barry Hawk, the number 2, almost ran into Juha Salminen off the start. And that opens the door for Ryan Vos, a youngster out of England. The Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, he grabs the early lead. There he is on the 116. And Vos, the English rider, out front. And he's probably already going to start looking around and figuring, what am I supposed to do now? Here comes Juha, though, maneuvering into third. Rodney Smith right there. Oh, we got a pile up. Who is that down? I think that was Mullins and Robbie Jenks. Oh, disaster for Charlie Mullins. Look at this. Hawk and Juha Salminen almost coming together off the start. That holds them up. So the battle goes to the inside, and it's going to be Jimmy Jarrett on the 158 and eventually Vos pulling through as they go past the chalk line. But no surprise, Juha already taking over the lead as they start snaking their way through the woods. 275, that is Paul Whibley out of New Zealand in the number 4 position. There's Barry Hawk, number 2, 14 Nate Canny, and Charlie Mullins at the back of that train. This is when Juha is dangerous. Early in the race, no traffic. There was also no practice on this course. He manages to read terrain. It's unbelievable how quickly he can go early in these races. Here is Whibley, 4th place, being coached by Scott Summers, a GNCC legend. And there's Barry Hawk. Now Barry's got a revised chassis set up at the Yamaha this week. He swears it's going to work better. Russ Bobbitt in 10th. And there is Shane Watts, Fred Andrews, Charlie Mullins again back in the pack after crashing there early on. Suzuki special test, that's that creek jump Rodney Smith was talking about. Looks like Jimmy Jarrett of the Andrews Suzuki has moved into second. And Mike Lafferty in a charge early in third. Then it's Whibley and our old man Rodney Smith moving up to the front. There is Greg Carney and there is Nate Canning. Shane Watts coming through. Just incredible this pack early on. There's Cole Hawkins, Robbie Jenks, a lot of talent out here, and they're all chasing this guy. Juha Salminen through that Moose Racing mud hole like it wasn't even there. Oh, and his teammate Lafferty styling his way through, moving into second. Lafferty also is very fast early in the races, as is Jarrett. Voss, on the other hand, we wonder if he can hold on. And look at the charge Rodney's putting on, man. We kid about the guy 42 years old saying he's old man Rodney, but he does not ride like it. Early in the race, he is on the charge. We're on the charge, too, to a commercial. We'll be back.
I'm here with off-road racing legend Jack Penton and the KTM Product Spotlight. Jack, what are we going to be taking a look at this week?
We're going to be taking a look at pit accessories this weekend. We're really dedicated to racing, and we want everybody to have a good time, and all of our customers out here at the races. And we know it takes more than just a motorcycle, so we have some really good products that they can bring to the races to make it a more enjoyable weekend. We have a pop-up tent that we have behind us here and keep the sun off of us or the dust or whatever it is, and also some accessories that make life a little bit easier. Chairs to sit in, some coolers, an umbrella. Also, we have in this feature today, we have our KTM rug, which is good not only at the races, but you can take it in your workshop or even in the house if you want. So we have a lot of real good products that we have at KTM. They're available through our dedicated group of KTM dealers, and we have a large catalog full of other products along with these.
And that's this week's KTM Product Spotlight.
All right, Rodney, welcome back to Suzuki GNCC Racing, ITP, Rocky Mountain MC, Moose, Yamaha, and Polaris backing our show as well. KTM show out front. Jack Penton's got to be happy about that, as Juha Salminen and Mike Lafferty, no surprise there, very fast early in the races. Jimmy Jarrett looking strong in third. There's Ryan Voss. He's holding strong after that good start. Rodney Smith putting the pressure on Paul Whibley in sixth. Here comes Barry Hawk. Barry looks much more aggressive today than he did at Steel Creek. Glenn Carney going to try to follow him through. And here's the Monster Energy Pro Circuit boys rounding out the top 10. Nate Canny and now Charlie Mullins has moved up to 12th. He was 14th earlier, and heck, he was even further back than that after crashing on about the third turn of this race. So one lap in the books. Be careful. They just watered that section of the racetrack. Juha already pulling away. Lafferty on the 450, the four-stroke KTM. The two strokes and the four strokes working today for the factory KTM off-road set. Lafferty out of New Jersey. He's an enduro racer, which means he knows how to ride varying terrain very quickly. A lot of these other guys, like say Rodney here, they will choose to cruise early in the race, and when they figure out the racetrack, like a motocrosser will, they will start to put in the charge late in the game. Ryan Voss rounds up the top 5 at the end of lap 1. And here's Hawk putting pressure on Whibley. We said Hawk looked more aggressive, and he certainly is, working the inside on that grass track, trying to stay out of the water dirt section. Juha, still no traffic, pulling away from the field with his trademark style. He is very smooth. Lafferty doing the same. And how about Jarrett, man? He has not lost the rear wheel of Lafferty early in this one. Rodney through in the number 4 position on the FMF Suzuki. Here it is, Voss. Now the pressure being applied by Carney and Hawk. They have both gotten around Paul Whibley. Mullins taking a hand off the bar, waving to our camera. That kid has got to be pumped up with the charge he has put in early. There is Andrews, back of that train. Juha, he is leading that thing. He has been the engine on the train all year long. He's led every lap at every race so far this season. These guys are all scrambling to get their bike set up, dialed in. We talked to Rodney about that earlier, and he has mentioned, you know, they tried to run with him early at a couple races this year, and it is nearly just dangerous to run the kind of speed Juha does early in the race. Rodney's going to go back to his old technique. Go fast when he's comfortable. Juha pulling away, the crowd cheering. Oh, look at this. Jarrett has gotten past. Lafferty running into some problems. We've lost Lafferty from this train. Mullins on the charge. Andrews coming through as well. And here's Shane Watts in the KTM 200. All chasing after Juha back through a dry section of the track, working his way back to the end of this lap. There is Lafferty. We missed him in the last shot. It is now Rodney moving into 3rd, Jarrett 4th, and Carney on the move into 5th. Mullins has gone from 14th to 6th into the mud hole. Yuha going way to the outside this time. You can see the other riders hitting the end of that bank as Lafferty does there. That's digging the ruts out. You see the mistake Lafferty makes by sticking to the inside. These guys are pouring on the horsepower here on these two strokes. Trying to stay in front. Looks like Mullins has gotten around his teammate Hawk. Hawk cannot be happy about that. Mullins was down early. He manages this year to be passing guys and just leaving them. He is a phenom. As you watch Andrews come through, Shane Watts as well. Watts ringing out the 200. Whoa, Vos is stuck. Ryan Vos is stuck, and there goes Robbie Jenks around him. So Vos losing positions by the truckload in that rough section of the course. No such problems for Juha Salminen. Now here's Lafferty. Pressure now being applied by Rodney Smith. Rodney's getting comfortable on this track, and he might be dangerous today. This is going to be fun to watch with Mullins and Carney on the charge as well. We're just getting started, so stay with us. Welcome back, GNCC action on OLN. Let's go to our Rocky Mountain tip of the week.
You ever had that dreaded day where you have to change the fork seals? Tusk has made this a little bit easier for you. Here I have fork seal tool. This makes it quick and easy to pound that fork seal back in. This comes in various sizes, available for most popular motorcycles. After you get them forks put back together, you're going to want to get the proper amount of oil back in your fork. The Tusk adjustable oil level tool allows it for easy, proper installation of the oil. This and other great products available from RockyMountainMC.com.
Back on the racetrack here, Suzuki GNCC action. Juha Salminen continuing to lead them, twisting his way through these Suzuki banners, and it is a Suzuki on the charge. Two of them, in fact, Smith and Carney hooking up like they did in North Carolina here in South Carolina. And Jarrett's on an RM250 as well, so the yellow bike's looking good. While the Yamahas, the blue bikes, that is Mullins and Hawk trying to keep pace with them. Now here comes the Kawasaki freight train. Andrews and Vos. Now Shane Watts on a KTM. Pit stop time for Juha. There's Donnie on the right, Ante on the left. Big crew for the KTM team. Donnie gives them gas. Ante going to talk some race strategy. Doesn't appear to need new Scott goggles, so so far so good for Juha Salminen. All right, pit stops are done, but the battle is not. The Suzuki guys pushing each other to the front of the pack. Now Glenn Carney and Rodney Smith battling for second and third. Rodney getting into that spot, has not been on the GNCC podium in nearly 2 years due to some injuries and a slow comeback. So this might be the day where Rodney Smith finally gets back to the top, but it's not going to be easy. You got Mike Lafferty and the two Yamaha boys with Mullins and Hawk. They're coming up strong too. So we're going to see if Rodney's got the endurance to hold on and finally put that Suzuki back up on the box. I don't know if he's got the speed to run down this guy today. Juha on fire on the KTM. Here is Lafferty, and man, he's been feeling the hot breath of Rodney Smith for about a lap now, and look at how hard Glenn Carney is going. You see these guys, the pace has really picked up compared to the early laps. Now they're roosting, now they're hitting the bumps hard, and Mullins, just a dynamo out there, is keeping pace with it all. 3 laps in, we hit the Suzuki special test again, and there is Glenn Carney airing it out. He's gotten around Rodney, and I think they put Lafferty behind him as well, with Mullins on the charge, and Hawk. Whoa, look out, Barry. Hawk almost into the spectator fence. Unbelievable what these guys are able to do. This guy doing it just a little bit better than everyone else. And here's what Juha does. He gets that early lead, and now he gets to ride his own race. He runs the lines he wants. He doesn't have to worry about pressure. He doesn't get tired because he gets to relax when he needs to. Lafferty is back in the hunt. He has actually split the Suzuki guys. There is now Hawk getting back around Mullins. The teammates been hooked up all day long, regardless of what color bike they're on. The orange boys are out front. You got the yellow bikes and the blue bikes, and then the green, and that could all change by the end of this day. Now through the Moose Racing mud hole, 2 riders clothed in moose. Carney and Smith now leading Lafferty through the mud. And that section is a lot worse than it was earlier in the day. And that's why Hawk here going all the way to the outside like Juha does. It's a long way around, but it's a safe way. You see Jimmy Jarrett having to dig his way through that stuff. You take your chances of getting stuck or falling when you run through deep ruts and slick mud like that. It's going to be awesome as this track gets rougher and rougher, so stay with us on OLN. GNCC Racing brought to you by Suzuki, ITP, Rocky Mountain, Moose Racing, Yamaha, and Polaris. Big Buck GNCC, Pirelli Big Buck GNCC from South Carolina. And Juha Salminen getting the pit board. It is all systems go for our defending GNCC champ coming out of Finland, but dominating here in the United States. Rodney Smith going into the pits. He is in the hunt. Big crew over here. Rod Harris going to give him gas. Now Shane Nally going to gas up Glenn Carney. That's Rodney's teammate. And the Suzuki people are much more relaxed today than they have been earlier in the season because their boys, well, they're right where they want to be in podium contention. Here's Juha now chattering the brakes. Even he is pushing through these corners harder than he was earlier in the race. Looks like Lafferty got around the Suzuki guys in the pits. He gets a little bit better mileage with that four-stroke. Mullins now joining the battle with the Suzuki guys. He wants to go after Rodney. He wants to go after Lafferty, and they've got to do it in lap traffic. When the track is this tight, oh, it's almost impossible to get around those guys. So this battle is only going to get tighter. Juha scrubbing that thing on the KTM, trying to stay low over the Suzuki Special Test jump. Now back onto the hard pack. Man, that guy is fast. Just on the gas through there, no mistakes, not wasting any energy. Look at the battle. Lafferty, Mullins, and Rodney Smith, a three-way dance as they get through the lap traffic, and now some dust being kicked up as well. This is where it gets tough to hang with the pace. Let's see if Hawk and Carney can stay with those guys. It is hot and humid out here today as well. The crowd loves Juha out here in South Carolina. They cheer our champion through. And they do the same thing for Mullins, the 20-year-old getting through that section as well. Lafferty and Rodney going at it here for the final podium spot in that Moose Racing mud hole. Here's Barry Hawk. We mentioned the revised setup. He said they went too far. They tried this early in the season, designed the suspension to put weight in the front wheel to improve the cornering on the bike. They said they went too far in that direction. He's gone back to the setup he ran at the end of 2005. And Barry looks a lot more comfortable today. But his teammate, Charlie Mullins, man, he has been comfortable in every situation thrown at him this year. I don't know if you've ever seen a rookie this impressive early in his GNCC career. Barry Hawk in fifth, trying to find Smith and Lafferty. All these guys chasing Juha. He manages to stay just out of sight, out of range. These guys could follow him. It'd be a lot easier to stay with him. But when you don't see him and don't see where he's going, don't see his braking and acceleration points, the lines he picks, it's just a guessing game. The only guy actually that probably knows what's going on is Ante, his mechanic, and they know they need one more splash of gas to make it to the finish line, and they've got a big enough cushion made up where they can do that. Last year they actually had some problems with gas mileage. This year they take no chances, two-stop strategy per race. Here comes Mullins. He's had his trouble with gas earlier in the season, but not today. Dale Stiegel and Charlie's dad, Charlie Sr., helping him out in the pits. Now here come the Suzuki guys. No gas stop. There's Rodney on the left going by. His wife Lloyd in the pit board. There goes Barry Hawk streaking by. And there goes Glenn Carney. At least you expect to see him. Yes, there goes Glenn. Waved by Shane Nally. You see the posture of Shane. He is not happy about the fact that Rodney, Barry, and Charlie have gotten around Glenn Carney. Now, Mullins has broken away in second place again, and he wants to go after Juha late in the game. Let's see how much energy the young man has left in the tank. Last lap here at the Pirelli Big Bucket. It's a question of motivation. Juha Salminen gone from the start. The question was, who was going to be willing to dig down deep enough to win this torrid battle for second and third? Charlie Mullins has come from last, a first-turn crash, to come all the way back to second. Now it's down to Barry Hawk, Mike Lafferty, and Rodney Smith for that final podium position. Hawk and Smith have not had a podium finish yet this year. You know that's on their mind. They are motivated, and they're going to take it right down to the wire here at the finish. We're going to keep an eye on that. Suzuki Special Test. Rodney in third, Barry in fourth, Lafferty in fifth. You can throw a blanket over them. They can see each other. And Fred Andrews moving into sixth. Great late race charge by Fast Freddy. Here is Juha. He has once again gone unchallenged today. The rest of these guys battling it out behind him. But I'll tell you what, this Mullins kid, he managed to catch and pass all those guys and pull away as well. Give him a start, and he might just be able to challenge Salminen all the way to the finish. So here is your battle. Hawk there in fourth. You saw Smith go by in front of him. Into the Moose Racing mud hole for the final time. Salminen, feet in the pegs, just dabs only gently. He gets through it. There is Mullins. Everyone electing to go to the outside. It's a little bit safer out there. Where is your battle for third? There is Rodney Smith. And there goes Barry Hawk. Oh, Hawk bumps Rodney, and Hawk takes over third. What a move by Barry Hawk. Let's watch it again at our Yamaha replay. Barry tries a brand new line, and he says, I want that spot, and he just bulldogs that Yamaha through. Great move for our Yamaha slow motion replay. That's how bad these guys want their first podium of the year. Hawk and Smith, former champions in this series, trying to rebound after a tough start in 06. All the luck so far has belonged to Juha and Mullins, but look at that. Rodney has gotten back around Hawk. So the savvy veteran does have something left in the tank. He's going to finish on the podium today, but there was no challenge once again for Juha. Juha Salminen takes his 4th win in 4 races this year. Charlie Mullins, another notch in his paper, going from last to 2nd. And here it is, sight for sore eyes. Rodney Smith is going to put the FMF Suzuki on the podium.
Of course, I'm happy. You know, it was a great race, difficult race, dusty. I didn't have so good start this time, but I could pass those guys pretty early and pull my way. You know,
it was a good race today. I rode my own race, got a decent start, and just kind of stayed up front. I've been fading the last couple of races and getting tired, and I've been fighting a cold, so I don't know if that was it or not. But today I rode a strong race, so it felt good.
And our champion, Juha, is flanked by Miss Union County, South Carolina. Another happy day for the KTM team, but you got to be encouraged with the results of Charlie Mullins and Rodney Smith. For Rodney Smith and Rachel Ayers, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.
The Grand National Cross Country Championship is sanctioned by the American Motorcyclist Association. Rights, Riding, Racing. AMA. Join now.